I just want us all to say thank you next to the last few years, to COVID and all of its variants, and we're going to move forward, right? And so today we're going to be talking about moving forward without fear. Next slide, please. So forward. I love this definition. There's tons of definitions on here actually, but it says onward to make progress, concerned with the future, help to advance towards a successful conclusion. And here's my favorite one, in the direction that one is facing or traveling. So when I came up here the first and the second time, right, what I did was I put one foot in front of the other to stand in front of you guys today, right? But can you imagine if I did this? I'm going to really try not to fall because I do have on heels. But if I literally was walking forward, one foot in front of the other, but I was looking backwards, what could happen if I was walking forward but still looking behind me? Throw out some stuff. What could happen? I could fall. What else? Trip. What was that? Run into something, run into someone. What else we have? Make a U-turn. I could break an ankle or twist an ankle. What was that in the back? That was it. You were a great segue to my next point. Were you looking at my notes, sir? Oh, he's taking credit for my stuff. But he's right. If you are looking backwards while you are looking and supposed to be moving forward, you can miss a really powerful opportunity that is right in front of you. And I really think that that's what is missing and what we've been doing for the last few years. We've been so fearful that something else is going to happen that we are like trying to be in the past a little bit, holding on to it, but we really want to move forward. And so today we're going to talk about and break down what moving forward truly involves. And if you can't tell, I love a good acronym, by the way. So we're going to be going through the acronym of forward. And so I've seen a lot of you guys driving some really fancy cars when I came up here today. I sure did. I was watching you guys. But think about this. If you got into your car, let's say your dream car, Maserati, Lamborghini, whatever your dream car is. Think about if you sat down in your car, put on your seatbelt, turned your car on, put the car in drive, put your foot on the accelerator, and started to drive away. But what you did was, you're driving forward, but you just decided to stay looking in the rearview mirror. Or you decided to look out the back window. What would happen? Crash. Literally within 3.5 seconds, you would probably crash. We all know this, right? And you would probably injure yourself or injure someone else, which is extremely like what we've been doing the last few years. We want to move forward, like I mentioned before, but we're still holding on to so many things from the past. And so I'm going to give you guys the blueprint for moving forward with ease. Next slide. The first one is forget about the past. In order to intentionally forget about something, you have to acknowledge that it once existed in the first place. Now, it's easy to say, forget about the past, let it go. I feel like if anybody has young children in here, you guys know Frozen, let it go, let it go. Let it, ooh, that was sounding kind of good. Let it go. Or you can tap into your Italian mob boss and say, forget about it, But you got to make your face look like this, and you got to throw up your shoulders a little bit. You got to turn your voice, say, forget about it. Can y'all say forget about it? Forget about it, right? Y'all didn't do it right. I said Italian mob boss, like Tony Soprano. Try it again. Forget about it. I love that you guys can have fun with me. I love it here. Literally, over the past few years, we've gone through everything. I've experienced, and I'm sure all of you guys have experienced, death, loss, setbacks, heartache, business changes, financial shifts. We're practically in World War III right now. There's a lot going on in this world, you know. And you probably have virtual school with your kids trying to work from home. And this industry has probably had the biggest setback out of all the industries that I can think of. I was, as my assistant Sydney says, I was booked and busy before the pandemic started. And when the pandemic hit, all of my speaking engagements went away, which meant all of my revenue went with it, right? And so I had to adjust. And oftentimes when we think about forgetting about the past, we often associate that with the negative. If someone's ever told you to let things go, forget about the past, don't worry about it, they're probably referring to something that's negative. But we often forget that when we say forget about the past, that means the good things too, because good things are included in the past. So I want you guys to acknowledge and to really realize that even in the midst of all of the negative, the bad, the not so good, and everything in between, there are still really good moments over the past few years that we can hold on to. Whether that's personally, whether that was you being able to see your kids walk for the first time, and you probably would have never been able to do that because you were at work or in the office, spending more time with your spouse, being home, eating family dinners. There's so many good moments. Or if you were like supposed to be working, but like online shopping, that's a good moment too, right? Whatever those good moments are for you, it's important for you to gather those, to acknowledge those, and to keep them. Next slide. O is for being optimistic about the future. Do you guys know what the opposite of optimism is? Pessimism, right? Don't be pessimistic. That one's very simple. Don't be pessimistic. I know the Dalai Lama said once, choose to be optimistic because it feels better. And I love that so much because it speaks to two things. It speaks to one, things being a choice, right? Choosing to be optimistic. And he's right. When you think more positively, you feel better. This is your therapy lesson. Just in case you guys didn't know, I'm a therapist. I'm a licensed therapist in real life. And so here's your therapy lesson. Your thoughts are attached to your feelings. Your feelings are attached to your behaviors. And your behaviors are attached to your outcome.